OTEP. So this shit's no joke, right? You could take any example, any word dealing with finances. For instance, credit. And that's something that most people think is basic. You know, you have a credit score. Your credit's either good or bad, which means you can get approved for something like a car or whatever the case may be. And if your credit's not so good, you may have to put down what's called a down payment. And the reason for that is because you don't have enough finance or credit available based upon your score to fund whatever it is that you're trying to get. So they have you put down a down payment. And I'm saying this for a reason. So there's a numerical / occult side to every aspect of our existence in commerce. For instance, credit. What is this based on? Where's the money really coming from? You. That's right, from you. And what they're not going to tell you is that your connection with the earth at any particular time can increase your credit or decrease it. Meaning the amount of time you spend connected to nature or earth versus the amount of time you spend in the house can increase your credit. How many of you have had sex outside? How many of you have had sex in the house? I'm not trying to be funny at all. There's a financial difference. Now, it's not to say that you have to start out and have sex outside for the rest of your life, but if you remember in the Garden of Eden, this isn't funny, this is for real. They was nude. Their first experiences, most likely with the sexual experience, had nothing to do with a house. They lived in what? A garden. Very important. They lived in a garden. And once they built that garden up and that land up, over time, you started to see credit. You got something called the Book of Numbers. This goes into credit. Why is it the Book of Numbers first? See, it said in the beginning, it was just a void, which goes into credit as well. See, it says in the beginning, it was a void, and darkness was upon the face of the waters. They called it the deep. The waters, which goes into credit. So credit goes into water. Your connection with credit, and your credit being good or bad, believe it or not, it has a lot to do with your connection with water. When you are in an area at a particular time that has bad water, you will watch your credit drop. And yes, I said at a particular time because there's places that have good water at times and bad water at times. Now, there's some places that always have good water, and your credit will be different. The way you base your credit score in that particular place will be different. Because when a place that has good credit or good water all of the time, usually there's a financial problem there. Most likely. So this is going into high-level economics. What I'm getting at is that your economists and your bankers and things of that nature study metaphysics, study the occult. The reason why they're so-called progressing is because of their knowledge of the occult. But there's a big hypocritical aspect to this. None of these cats, mostly hardly any of them, have spent any time with nature. And this is why at any time, you could take someone that's supposedly rich and sit them down, and over a period of time, they might find out that they're poor as shit. And I'm serious about this. And you make a sit down a bum, and over a period of time, prove to him or her that they're rich as shit. And I'm not saying that to brag or to boast, because it can go both ways. Because the reason why you're a bum, this is what I found out about myself. If you're, in a bum situation, because you're not utilizing your resources. I don't care where you at, if you're a bum, or whatever the case may be, you got something. You got a voice, you know English. I had to start there. You got something though. And from there, you build your credit. And there's different aspects of credit. You see, but your connection with how the credit was generated, and this is where I'm getting at, by the ancestors, was through land. Their connection with land. And once that land was built up and nurtured and cultivated, this eventually led into commerce. And they were able to build what's called a house. And they were able to get assets and get into this life that you know now. And I'm bringing this up because we are on the verge and the brink of this life that we know now could possibly melt down based upon certain numbers. And I'm going to go into this in the future. This is what I'm going to shut down with. They want to get rid of the 19th century or 1900, excuse me. They want to get rid of 1980 or 1960 or 1940. What does that mean? I'll have to go into that in the future. They want to take the 19 off of the date, which could change the whole financial industry and melt this shit down within days. If they get this off, why are they doing this? Without me even making an episode, I can tell you the reason why they're doing it, then I shut down. You have no credit with land. You have no connection with land. We don't. And the reason why they're able to pull stuff like this is because you have no roots. Everybody wants to be rich and have money, and have sex and this and that. But you're doing mostly everything in the house and under control of a slavery code. UCC codes. This thing was formed upon slavery if you don't understand it. I'm serious. If you don't understand numbers and UCCs, you will forever and perpetually be in a state of slavery. Your children will be slaves. Their children will be slaves. That's why they don't want people listening to people like me. Because they know that that's it. You have to learn this or we're stuck. See, it's simple. It's not. The judgment is what you learn and how you apply it. Not how good of a person you are, bad of a person you are. It's what you learn and how you apply it. So I'm going to go into this 19 code eventually. That's why I'm introducing numbers, because I want to eventually lead you into that. Help you to understand that if you can't solve that riddle, we can't proceed as an economy. Things will always kind of stay the same. Stay vigilant. I'll be back soon.